Good morning and great to see you here. It's always a pleasure being with you. Um, Today we have a little low back practice. So we're going to start in a different position than we normally start today. We're going to start with a couple of blocks. We're going to take one of them 9 inches high, the other one 6 inches, and we'll start in this resting position. You want to center the spine here and have this near block, like in the right above the low back, kind of in the low part of the thoracic spine, starting all the way up to the shoulders, and then relaxing here with your palms up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes for a moment and take a few deep breaths. Stay here for another couple of deep breaths. Notice the relaxation in the low back and the breath in the belly. See if you can feel your pelvic floor relaxing as you're breathing with your belly. And on your next exhale, take the hands on either side of your hips. Leading with your heart, push yourself up to seated. Awesome. All right, so let's come out and put these off to the side for a little bit. And I'm going to do a little bit of strengthening work today for your low back. So one of the things that we commonly think is my low back is tight, so all I need to do is stretch, but we forget the strength part and that the back won't really let go if we don't have a little strength going in the low back. So today we're going to start on the belly. So just get nice and comfortable and stretch your right leg back away from your body, and your left leg, stretch that one back away from your body. And then I want you to reach your chest forward and then lift your chest up. Inhale. And then hold here. Now you shouldn't be pushing with your hands, so you should be able to just gently lift your hands and stay where you're at without moving. And then gently relax toward the floor. Lifting up again. This time you might find that you're lifted a little higher, again, without the pressure. And as you exhale next, relax. All right, we're going to do one more of these this time. Push just a teeny bit with your hands. Make sure that your elbows don't wing out, but they're squeezing in a little bit towards your ribs. And then relax back down to the floor. Awesome. Slide your hands back to either side of your waist and use your arm strength to push out of this. Awesome. All right, have a seat on a block and grab your second block here for a little support. So we're going to sit cross-legged if you can. This is one of my best positions for the back, is with the head right over the hips. We're going to do a little gentle twist towards the side. And one thing you want to be sure too when you twist is that your hips slightly twist towards the same direction as your spine. And the reason is because if we twist the hips in the opposite direction, we start to pull on the ligaments of the sacroiliac joint, which is in the back of your pelvis, and that can hurt quite a bit if it's unstable. So we're going to stay here and we're going to breathe and breathe through your ribs. Now, I want you to feel how when your ribs expand, you're getting energy into your low back and your ribs. So I want you to look for places where you don't feel your ribs expanding, where you don't feel your breath, and see if you can make your ribs expand on your next inhale. So we want to really kind of balloon out into that whole back. One more breath like that. And then turn back toward the center. Head over the hips. And then we're going to switch directions. Simple twist. Simple, simple twist. Over here. Breathing in. Breathe with your belly, with your ribs, with especially the back ribs. And you're the back lungs. Back lungs. Slow exhale. Big inhale. Slow exhale. And one more big inhale. And then turn back here to the center. Excellent. Let's lean to the side for a moment. I want you to feel your whole from the hip bone all the way up, expanding as you breathe in, and then using your deep abdominals to pull you to the center. And then same thing over here. We're going to lean. We're going to breathe in this whole side flank. And then have that lift us up. Drop the arm. All right. Good, good, good. Okay. So we're going to grab a couple of blocks and have a seat flat on the floor. I want you to loosely cross the legs, even if you can squeeze your legs in tight, like a want them nice and loose. So we're going to take these blocks on either side of the hips and do a little decompression. We're going to lift up, but don't take your hips with you. I want you to drop your hips toward the floor and let them hang. You might even feel like the skin of your bum brushing the floor a little bit. Hold, hold this decompression and start to drag back a little bit. That chest lifts. You start to drag back a little bit here. Breathe deep and then let it go. All right, let's pull the blocks away. And then we're going to come into a standing forward fold. So feet are parallel to each other unless you have a rotated pelvis. If you have a rotated pelvis and it rotates anteriorly on the left, you would take your left foot a little bit forward or vice versa. So we have the weight in the back of the heels and we gently press the heels apart and breathe. You want to bend your knees as much as you need to rest your ribs on your thighs. And if you've bent your knees, push your knees slightly apart and your heels slightly apart. Take another breath and shift your weight into the back of the heels. Now, that weight in the back of the heels, notice how it pulls your spine long. So it's more decompression, it's more relief there. As you exhale, imagine your feet drop down into the floor. And as your feet drop down into the floor, feel your spine lengthen, and that you might be able to, from your feet, lift up with a straight spine. Let's kind of play with that concept. And if it doesn't quite click, we're going to keep playing with it and it will fall into that cog. So we're going to come to the front of the mat for this next one and just take your left foot back and lift your left arm up in the air. And then think about if you were connected from this back foot, if you were connected from this foot that's behind you, this left foot, from the heel all the way up through the fingertips here, that would take you into a little forward fold. Now, as you're here with the right leg forward, go ahead and bend your right knee so that you can rest your right side ribs on the thigh. That's a huge theme here. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to breathe deep. feeling the spine lengthen. Shift the weight into the back of your front foot heel and shift your weight into the back foot heel. Let your feet both drop down into the floor, and then we're gently lifting up here. Good. All right, now we're going to switch legs. So we're going to take this other leg back, step on the foot, and then from the foot, imagine the foot and the energy of the foot travels up through the leg and the hip and up all the way through the fingertips as you reach forward. And breathe. Shift the weight into the back of the left heel, shift the weight into the back of the right heel. Spine lengthens here and breathe. Let the feet sink down. Use the energy up through the feet, up through the hips, and let it pull through the spine. Don't cut the energy off. Let it pull all the way through the crown of the head and see if you can connect your feet to lifting up. All right, now we're stepping the front foot back. The feet drop into the floor. And then again, this back foot, the energy pulls up all the way from the foot through the fingertips and takes us down into that forward fold. Bend the front knee. Shift the weight into the back of the right heel. Shift the weight into the back of the left heel. Take a breath. The feet drop down. And as the feet drop down, we feel that energy through the spine. The feet drop down. We lift up from the energy in the feet. Take the front foot, step it back. The back foot drops down. We lift up. Here we go. Coming into that forward fold, bend your front knee as much as you need to, and then shift the weight into the back of the heel. Shift the weight into the back of that right heel. Let the feet drop down. Let the feet drop down too in order to lift the spine up. And then one more time with your left foot back, lifting up. Coming into that forward fold. Let it come through the feet. Feet drop down to the hips, through the spine. The feet drop down one more time and lift us up. Excellent, you guys. All right, come out and take a nice deep breath and just check in with your body and see how that went and see if you feel a little bit more connected and a little bit more freedom here in the spine. So stand on your feet with your toes turned forward, and we're going to take the shoulders and we're going to move them around, around, around. And let your shoulders kind of fold toward each other and away from each other like origami. Let's reverse. Loosening up the spine a little bit. One more. And then come on to the hands and knees. We're going to take this, this one's closer to you. So I'm going to take this left knee and scooch it behind the right one. I'm going to come back into the hips. And I'm going to rotate around to the outside of my right knee. Take a breath. I'm going to crawl my hands forward, uncross the knees, and cross the other one behind. And come back, crawling back, reaching the chest forward, rotating around toward the left, a little twist, and a breath. Crawling the hands forward. Let's do that one more time on each side. This will kind of loosen the tissue that's in the back of the pelvis. I also use this to reset the sacroiliac joint. So if you have any sacroiliac joint discomfort, this is a really great one to keep in your back pocket. Let's switch one more time. And if you have any questions about these things, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you with some answers. Let's take it over to that other side and breathe. Keep your neck neutral. Good. And then come forward and uncross at the knees. All right. Yeah. Oh, that's feeling better, right? So next we're going to take ourselves into a seated position. And we're going to work in Janu Shirshasana a little bit. This is a classical yoga pose. So I want you to sit with your legs in front of you in an L sit. Feet are flexed. I want you to really feel that you're sitting on your sitting bones. So as you scooch, you should feel your sitting bone and your other sitting bone on the floor. Now we're going to take this right leg, we're going to lift it up and draw it in. Now, if your knee is up, you might want to support yourself. I have these books over here, which you could like basically slide a book or two under your knee. I have some yoga tune-up balls. I also have a block, depending on how open or not your hips are. So as you're feeling your sitting bones here against the floor, that helps lift you up. So we were kind of talking about how your feet are flat on the floor and you're pulling energy up through your feet, up through the crown of your head. So you're doing the same thing here through the sitting bones, up through the crown of the head. So I want you to feel this length here in your spine and allow the length and the energy being pulled up to pull you into Janu Shirshasana. If you have a ton of stretch in your hamstrings, bend your knee like this. All right, good. Now feel your sitting bones. And again, feel the spine lengthen here. It's almost like a wave. Like when you dive in the pool and you undulate, there's this wave that goes through your body. So that's kind of what we're creating here a little bit. We've got sitting bones down, spine lifting up, coming forward. And then as we're here, we go back through the sitting bones, through the spine, and it helps us lift up. So we're lifting up not through a bunch of heave-ho effort, but we're allowing the energy to be pulled up through the body. It's a little abstract, but the more playful you get, the more this makes sense. We're going to pick this leg up and bring it out and place it on the floor. So from here, we're going to lift up doing the same thing, pulling up through the sitting bones, because now the sitting bones are your quote unquote feet. Lifting up, pulling forward into that forward fold, breathing deep. Go back into your sitting bones, pulling up through the back of the pelvis, through the spine, crown of the head. Relax. And then picking up your left foot, and we're going to pull this in here and support your knee. Settle in. All right, feel your sitting bones against the floor, lifting up and folding forward. So this is not trying to get the head to the floor. This is lengthening through the spine to get the spine to come forward towards me. Now, as you do that, what will happen is you'll get a little closer to the floor, but it's not about that. We want the sitting bones connected to the floor, and that helps pull us back up into a seated position. From here, take the leg, extend it out. Sitting bones, drop down, lifting the spine, exhaling into, again, your seated forward fold. Sitting bones connect to the spine, lift up. Let's do this one more time on the right. Pull it in. Sitting bones connect, lifting up, pulling forward. Forward, not down. You get down just because you've done this so many times that the energy flows through those lines. Lifting up. Good. And then lifting up from the sitting bones, up through the spine, crown of the head, into your forward fold. Beautiful. And follow the waves. And you might not be on my rhythm, and that's cool. Be on your own rhythm. Left leg pulls in when you're ready. Sitting bones to the floor to lift you up through your spine to come forward into your fold. Sitting bones ground down to lift your spine up. And again, bringing your foot forward, sitting bones down, pulling the energy up again through your spine and folding forward. Sitting bones to spine, lifting you up. Here we go into a little twist. We're going to do a little deer pose twist. So come into a double L sit. Right hand comes to the floor as you twist over your right shoulder and set your elbows to the floor. Now you can give yourself a little extra twist by gently pressing your right elbow into the floor. If you're on your right side, like I am. Nice deep breath. Breathe with your belly. That tends to help you relax your pelvic floor. And gently walk your hands up towards your hips. Switch to your other side. The double L sit on the left, twisting over your left shoulder and coming down to the elbows. Breathing with the belly. Walking hands in towards your hips. Come on out and let's end the way we started. We're going to end in this nice relaxing position. So we'll take one block, 6 inches here, one block behind the head, again centering the spine along this block. And the head relaxes onto the blocks, palms up, chest open. Close your eyes and please take 5 minutes and for yourself just to rest and feel the length in your spine and your body relax. As always, it's such a pleasure being with you each morning this January. I'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully, so will you. I'll see you soon. And in the meantime, take good care and stay warm.